Hello students, and welcome to week 3 of Healthcare Economics. Here is our homepage in D2L, and I want you to see that there is a video here I've posted during week 2 about our final project instructions, and I want you to make sure you're aware of this. The final project is due in week 4. Okay, and I will be providing some additional assistance on Prezi, which is what you'll be using to do your final project. But make sure you watch this video here so you understand what that project is, and I would suggest getting started on that now instead of trying to do it all during week 4. It's too large of a project to try and do all in 1 week. So scrolling on down here to our calendar. Today is Monday, October 16th. It is the last day of week 2, so you have till the end of day today to make any responses to the discussion forum, which we've had really good participation in the forum in week 2. I'm really pleased to see that. Also, by the end of day today, you need to have your assignment submitted to the Dropbox. Next Friday, or this coming Friday, October 20th, is when the week 3 original posts need to be made, and then next Monday the 23rd is when we need to wrap up that week 3 discussion and get our assignments submitted. You can see our week 5 due dates have all rolled up here on the home page. You will notice that the due date for the original post in week 5 is due on the very first day of that week as opposed to the Friday. I comment on that in the video on our final project. You will be posting a link to your Prezi presentation in the discussion for week 5. So the presentation you prepare for your final project, you will be presenting to the class in that week 5 discussion forum. So that's why we're doing it in the beginning, because you should already have it completed. Okay, let's look at what we're going to cover here in week 3. We are going to be looking at health disparities and how to address those, and then looking at the role that market supply has on healthcare. Our content, or our reading for the week, is chapters 8, 9, 10, 11. Here are the textbook publishers' PowerPoint presentations that go along with those chapters. Our discussion this week has to do with health equity and why it is important to society, and how we could go about making that financially feasible. Then our assignment, I'm going to go through each of these this week. So for chapter 8, we are doing question 2. What is meant by a loading fee when considering the price of an insurance policy? So that's the first part of the question. What is a loading fee? And then the second part, why is the loading fee a higher proportion of the premium when people choose low deductible? So you need to tell what is the loading fee, and then why is it such a larger percentage when people choose low deductibles. We also have question 3 from this chapter. Define moral hazard and then provide an example. Okay, then chapter 9, we are going to be doing question 1, what are the main determinants of health disparities? And then how can these be modified to improve health status? So that's 2. So what are the main determinants? That's plural. There's more than one. And then for each one that you provide, how can we change it so that we can improve the health status in society? Okay. We're also going to do question 2 from this chapter. Why is health equity important in society, and why would it be financially feasible in the health economy? You may recognize that from our discussion forum. So you should learn quite a bit from discussing it to be able to answer the question here. Then chapter 10 on page 82, we're going to be doing question 1, which has to do with licensure requirements. So the question is, suppose those licensure requirements became more stringent, meaning harder to obtain a license so that fewer physicians will be able to practice medicine. Okay, given that circumstance, what would happen to the supply curve for physician services? So we're talking about the supply curve. We're not talking about price. We're talking about supply curve. Will the curve shift to the right, or will the supply curve shift to the left? That's what you need to provide in your response. Will the supply curve shift to the right, meaning at any given price there's more supply, or will the supply curve shift to the left, meaning at any given price there is less supply? Okay. Question 2. Suppose that there is a high demand for a new diet drug on the market. What would happen to the supply of the drug? Again, would the supply curve for that drug shift to the right, or would it shift to the left, given the fact that there's a big demand for it? So again, we're talking about what would happen to the curve. Would the curve shift left or right? Okay, then we move on to chapter 11 on page 90, and we're going to be looking at question 2. What does the elasticity of substitution illustrate, or what does it demonstrate? What is it representing from those who are demanding whatever product we're looking at? And I'm going to provide some additional information through our discussion forum that helps you to understand elasticity of substitution a little better to help you answer that question. And then we're also going to be doing question 3, explain the difference between explicit and implicit cost of production. Examples would really be nice, even though it doesn't specifically ask for that, but explain the difference between those types of production cost. If you have any questions on the homework or anything else, please do not hesitate to contact me.